Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and welcome to this series of videos called Spiritual Dilemmas. It's really about how we can be in our everyday life and be in our spiritual practice at the same time. All right, see you in a minute. Hello, I'm Dr. Rosie Kuhn. So today I want to talk about staying young at heart, regardless of how old you are. Now, our consensus view of reality has us think that as we grow, let's say even in our 40s, that we are beginning to decline and go into decrepitude. People in their 30s, I'm in my 60s, as I've said, and I hear people worry about getting old even when they're in their 30s and 40s. And that fear is so not in alignment with who we are as a spiritual being. As a spiritual being, we are eternal. And these are those practices that I hear people say, and it's like, well, how do you live with that? That I'm a spiritual being, that I'm an eternal being, and I'm inside this transportational device, and this device is getting old. This device is getting old, but the me inside is still as young as ever. And I've found that fascinating with people, and this is kind of new to me, even though I've done books and podcasts about aging like a guru. It didn't occur to me the degree to which people who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, even 100, they feel as young as they ever have. They feel as if they're in their 30s or 20s. They have this delightful, heartfelt presence, but because they're in this vehicle that isn't operating as it used to, they get upset, they get frustrated, they get tired, they feel worn out, and they're ready to leave the planet. So we can stay young at heart in a number of different ways. So I've mentioned, I think, in previous videos, at least in the live YouTube videos, that in August of this year, I am going to go on a horseback trip, trail riding for 6 days. Now, I don't know what my body's going to be like to be on this trail and on a horse for 6 to 8 hours a day. I don't have a clue, but I know that I can prepare for that. And so even though I may look like this older person, I'm in this shell of agingness, if you will, I can do a lot to prepare myself. I can strengthen my body, I can strengthen my muscles, I can stretch, I can learn to expand and have greater ability to rotate and be more fluid with my body. Now, someone might say, well, wait, you're too old to do something like that. And I know a lot of people. In fact, my brother, who is 74, is a senior triathlon person, and he's in phenomenal shape. There's so many people in this age group and higher that are in extraordinarily healthy, vital bodies, because they see themselves as that. They see the potential. They don't give up just because, well, you're 70, you shouldn't be doing those things. And we hear that a lot. Who are you to think that you could do something like that because you're so old? And we make those things up. We have the capacity to stay young at heart. So first of all, again, coming to who I am inside as an eternal being. I have no age. I have no sense of aging, other than what my mind can tell me. But I don't think about my mind, and I just think of who I am. I'm more playful than ever. I'm more able to be creative and imaginative and childlike in so many ways. That's that youthfulness that I can have until the day I leave the planet. How I decide to utilize this physical body is up to me. And certainly there are people who have frailties or have disabilities. And there are so many people with disabilities who are doing phenomenal things with their bodies because they want to, because they say so. because they're committed to having a thriving, fulfilling life. So we can be aware of the outside skin being wrinkly, and I can use moisturizer, and I can use things on my skin that can bring about healing and wholeness from the outside in. I use a particular product called ASEA, and I can use that on the outside of my body and it gets absorbed in, and I can use it on the inside as well. So using supplements and moisturizers and supplements that help support your body is a very good thing. And then being able to commit myself and be dedicated to having a strong body, to being physically fit, so that when I go on this horse trip and maybe after that, that I stay strong. I walk a lot, but when I realized when I started doing a 12-week challenge, physically more exercise, it was like, wow, I really don't have that level of physicality that I thought I did. And that's what I really want for the rest of my life, is that level of physicality. Also, staying young at heart, I hang out with people that are also of the same mindset. They may have aches and pains, they may have certain problems that they're dealing with, but they are still too also young at heart in their being. And that keeps me active and that keeps me playful. The other part is that it's really important for me on an everyday basis to connect with spiritual principles and spiritual teachings, and through readings or through videos. But primarily I use a book called ONENESS by a woman named RASHA. And I've been using that book for over 10 years. And every time I read that book, I learn something new. Even though I've read the same thing maybe 15 times, something shows through that brings me into alignment again with my fullness and my knowing that I am this spiritual being. I am this eternal being within this physical form, within this physical body, this physical experience. And in that, honoring myself by staying attuned with my spiritual self, it supports me in remembering that even when my body is tired, or my emotional self or my attitudes are poor, I can connect with something that makes me remember who I am, even when it's difficult and challenging. So staying young at heart is very, very important, I believe. And we can do this by, again, staying connected with our spiritual principles, staying connected with this sacred vehicle, and the sacredness of this whole existence. And when we can stay connected to all of that, you'll be young at heart forever. All right, I would love it if you'd give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you haven't already. We've got some really great materials coming up. And also I would love to hear if you have any comments of how you stay young at heart, and what you might want to practice to stay young at heart. All right, thanks very much. Bye for now.